if I have any room in my cloud. Okay. My goal here isn't really to motivate, which is rare. I know I like to motivate on the regular, but today's call is more so to go over success and what successful traits are, right? We all have our own definition of success. And in the beginning stages of entrepreneurship for me, it was primarily in the terms of money and wealth. I'm not gonna lie. Those were like, I knew if I had money and wealth, I was considered successful. But obviously over the course of time and clearly over this weekend, we all learned that there's so many other aspects of success, right? So yes, money is a part of it. And there's so much more that comes with it. So before I get started, I want you guys to all drop in the chat. When you hear the word success, what do you think? What's like the one word that correlates with it? Is it health? Is it freedom? Is it travel? Is it taking care of, well, I'm trying to do one word. So if you guys can do one word, I got happiness, I got travel. What else do we got? For me, it's freedom, like just freedom and influence and impact. I think those are like the three separate words that I can describe it. I'm seeing happiness. I love that. So some people value, obviously, their freedom to spend their time as they want. Others value their ability to help those in need, right? Those are some other options. And whatever your why is, no matter who you look at, there is a core set of personality traits that are common to all successful people, all of them. I am rewatching whatever the Michael Jordan documentary is right now because, you know me, sports, just kidding. But he has a lot of really great speaking points in there. And amongst watching that, I've pretty fortunate. A lot of my circle are entrepreneurs and a lot of my circle has been very successful growing up from a friend group. So I've seen firsthand the diverse set of successful people that I've worked with and I've known from years. And I know people from being billionaires to just starting up in their entrepreneurial journey. And although each one of their stories was very different, their DNA was very similar. What I mean by DNA, their characteristics, their mentality, their focus, what they did is all very similar. So I want to go over a meeting with you that my previous mentor did this meeting for me 4 years ago. I remember it to the day. And it's so simple, you guys. It's some of these points are going to be so simple, but when I heard it, it's changed my whole entire business. And I reread this today and I got the same feelings I did when I first heard the meeting. So let's just dive right in. So I think there's 10. I'm pretty sure there's 10. I'm going to try not to take too long on this. So number one, the first personality trait, the first characteristic of someone who has a successful DNA, number one is the capacity to let go. The capacity to let go. Holding on to the past or your latest mistakes is literally going to slow you down. Point blank, period. Successful people are never, ever anchored by the past. They learn from it quickly, and then they move on to a bigger and better challenge. I'm in my room, so Thomas can't hear me, so he can't get mad at me. So my ex, he played for the NBA, okay? And I remember every single he's in the bathroom, you heard that. Every single time he would come home after a game that he lost, I'd be like, you want to talk about it? Like, how was it? Because NBA players have like a different brain. Like they don't function. They're just like always on 10, 10, 10. They're always going to the next thing. And he would come home after a game, he would lose. And I would be like, babe, do you want to talk about it? And he was like, talk about what? I'm like, well, you guys like really lost and you look really mad and no one's talking after we left the locker room. Like, are you okay? And he's like, I'm done. It's over with. We have the next game in this city next week. I'm focusing on that. That's all I'm thinking about. And after being around that for such a long time, it really resonated with me. So the first things first is the capacity to let go. There's going to be a lot of things that happen in your life all of the time. I love seeing the kids on here all of the time. And if you're constantly holding on to it, you're always going to be living a has-been life within your business. That's number one, the capacity to let go. Number two, my favorite, mine and Cora's probably, a passion for improvement. A passion for improvement. Successful people are perpetually trying to improve themselves. They are their worst critics. They're never satisfied, and they're always striving to be better. The only person that you should ever be trying to beat is you and only you. And in this business, the biggest way for you to consistently be improving yourself is growing your mind. This business is 80% mentality, 20% business, right? It's all starting here. So from podcasts, from training videos, from checking in with your mentor, from group chats, from reading, from your goals to your affirmations, all of those things on a daily aspect are going to help you guys consistently improve in your business. If I can pick like one thing, that would be it. So number two is a passion for improvement. Number three, this one, when I first heard it, I was confused a little bit when she first ran this meeting. So it's obsessive attention to detail. Number 3 is obsessive attention to detail. And this one drives everyone crazy if you're not one of those people. It does, but it also drives excellence. You know, I know that in this business, we always say, not even in this business, in business, we say, don't sweat the small stuff. I don't say that. I don't think anyone on my team has ever heard me say that, because most successful people get there by doing exactly that. Sweating, there's a kid, sweating the freaking small stuff. Ooh, I caught myself, you guys. I'm proud of myself.
She has a potty mouth mom, so she knows she knows better than to repeat it, so you're good. Say what you want.
I'm going to try though. I need to get better. But it's important to sweat the small stuff. It's important to sweat the small details. You know, I always pay attention to the words that are unsaid. I pay attention to the small, minute details with my people, to my customers, my family, my boyfriend. It's why I know when my people are in a mood before they have to tell me they're in a mood. I pay attention to how they type. I pay attention to how they speak. I pay attention to their voice inflections. I pay attention to what they post on a regular basis. So when you're not feeling authentic, you don't have to tell me. I already know. And I think that's such a really, really important part in this business, is to recognize that focusing on the small stuff isn't always you focusing on other people. Quite often it's you focusing on yourself. So often when we miss an income producing activity, let's say we make our power list, right? And on our power list, one of those things are, I'm going to exhaust my story 2 times. Put a 1 in chat if you've never not done it and then told yourself, it's okay, I'll do it tomorrow. It's Monday. I got all week. I'm going to put like 900 ones because I did that shit today. I did that shit last week. I've done it. That is something you should be sweating. That is a big deal, because when you consistently put those things aside and say, don't worry, don't sweat the small stuff, those get compounded over the course of time. Every single time that you snooze your alarm clock and you say, 5 minutes, eventually it becomes a half an hour. And then eventually there's no longer an alarm. So sweating the small stuff in business is so incredibly important, because over the course of time, you are going to compound yourself into going backwards. So number 3, sweat the freaking small stuff. All right, number 4, I think. I love this one. Okay, keeping an inventory of accomplishments. Keeping an inventory of accomplishments. Whether you're a week into this business, a day into this business, or 3 months into this business, I want you guys to understand something. Successful people keep track of their achievements, not because they necessarily want to put them in display, although a lot of people like to shout them out. I do. I'm like my biggest hype girl. I'm going to shout my shit out from the rooftop. I won, and I want everyone to know that I won and people won with me. However, a lot of times it's really important to remember your wins, because it's going to remind you when you want to quit. And I want you guys to understand something, especially if you're in your first few weeks in this business, you are going to want to quit. You're going to want to quit a lot. You're going to want to quit right before something major pops off. It happens all of the freaking time. And there's so many girls on my team who've left, who now when wellness is coming back, suddenly they're all motivated. Now that wellness is back, they're ready to go. Now they're excited, right? But because they were never keeping track of all their small wins, they let that motivation die at one point. Winning means one thing. In this particular business, in my opinion, and maybe some of the leaders, you put in chat if you can agree with me, winning in this business literally just means that you didn't quit. That is it. We saw a $10 million club earner this year in less than 6 years. Do you want to know how she got there? Because she just kept going. She simply didn't give up on her hard months or her hard dates. It's the cheat code. And I want you guys to understand when I say achievements, I don't mean PV. I don't mean GB. Every single time that you don't feel like working and then you work, you won. Every single day you don't want to show your face on camera and you still put your face on camera, you won. Every time you reach out to somebody, every time you do a post on your story that feels a little bit scary and out of your comfort zone, every time you cold message someone, every time you pick up the phone and get on a potential call, every time you talk in group chat when you're not really a social person, all of those things are wins. Every time you wake up on time and do your to-do list, every single one of those need to matter. They need to, because we are in such a results-focused business that people start to get into their own heads right when they feel like they're not where they want to be. But if you just pay attention to all the 50, 60, 70 things that you did do that day that matters, then you are ahead of most people. So this one I can talk to for hours. And if you're a leader on this call, I'm talking strictly to my leaders, and you are not shouting out your girls for every freaking win they do. You need to be. It is our job to be their cheerleaders. It is our job to believe in people when they don't believe in themselves. And that culture, it starts with you as a leader. It starts with no one else besides you. I don't care if I'm the only person in my group chat. I want everyone on my team to know I see you, I am proud of you, I believe in you. And even if it was something small, I cannot wait for that small thing to compound into bigger and bigger wins. So if you don't have that community, if you're not getting that, understand, I believe in you. I see you. I am proud of you. And if you need the hype girl, I'm going to be here to do that for you. You got to match my energy, but I will be here to do it for you. So that's number 3 or 4. I don't know which one. Next one. I think number 5. Ooh, this is another good one. Compulsively working their network. Compulsively working their network. One of the most consistent common traits of successful people is their ability to relentlessly work their network. I want you guys to understand something. All success is built on a network of human connections, and those human connections need to be nurtured and reinforced. We are in a network marketing company, in case you guys weren't aware. You got to network. We got to like have conversations. People are never just going to come to you and be like, oh, I kind of need shampoo and skincare. Do you know anybody that sells that? That just never, I mean, maybe it will, but it's going to be like 1 for every 900 people. So I want to talk about some things that you can be doing, especially if you're new in this business, to network, which is super important. First things first. First things first. It's so important to constantly be engaging on your social media. You guys have all those little stories, those little circles on top of your page. If you're not engaging with people, they're not going to see your content. And when I say engaging, I don't mean, hi, my name is so-and-so, I work with Monet, you should come work with us, you're gonna make us a lot of money. Just have a conversation, ask them about their shoes, their nails, their food, right? You wanna start engaging with people. I bring samples with me everywhere I go. Like Thomas literally has to be like, let me see your purse. Be like, but why? He's like, because I wanna have a normal dinner where you're not talking to strangers. Let me see your purse. And I'm like, God damn it. All right, here are the oils. Here's the shampoo. Like I bring samples with me everywhere. And when I don't bring samples because you won't let me, I'm wearing Monet gear from head to toe. You know where I'm coming from. You know, because I've gotten so many sales, just people being like, oh, I've heard of you from wearing my hat. So the second way is bringing samples and getting them into the hands of friends and family. That's the second thing. And then the third thing is putting offers out. The third way to engage and build your network are physically offering the business to your friends and family. I want you guys to think about something. And this, I think it was Beth and I don't know if that's on this call, but we were talking about this earlier today. If you're just posting on your story every day, but you're never offering to people, people feel as if they're a number. I don't know, like imagine Kim Kardashian, we're gonna use her as an example. Can you imagine if Kim Kardashian messaged you and she's like, hey, I want you to try out my Skins or Skims line, whatever it's called. Can you be one of the testers for my Skims line? You'd be like, oh my God, like you messaged me personally versus just posting on your story. When I message my potentials, like my dream team potentials, I've literally been told, I thought you would never ask. Like I always see you posting about it, but I'm so thankful you actually came and asked me. I made them feel important. I made them feel like they were different because they are. I see something in them that they don't yet see in themselves. So it's super, super important that you guys are creating convos, handing out samples. When COVID's done, I'm not a big like wine and wash person. It's just not really my thing, but I can tell you they work. So I'm going to start doing more of them, creating events for you and your friend group. Okay. So that was number 4 or 5, compulsively working your network. The next one, 5. Okay. So this is number 6. Ooh, this is another good one. I love these. Okay. Number 6 is rewarding themselves. And if you're on my team, you're going to roll your eyes because we all know that I don't always do this, but rewarding yourself. So when you're running at full throttle, you need to take time to take care of yourself, both emotionally and physically. And I know when I say this, people are like, oh, so self-care. Yes and no, it's self-care, but when I very rarely do this. This is definitely my weak point, what I have to work on. Cora and I had a whole conversation about it this weekend. However, when I do take the time for myself, I'm doing it with the intention to make time to receive. You have to make that time that you're taking to yourself, time to literally unplug so you guys can receive the abundance that you guys are putting out there. So we're in a position, we're in a business where I only grow if I can make other people grow. So a lot of my time is spent giving, right? But if I don't take the time to stop giving so I can take something back, and I don't know if you guys listen to Badass Manifestor, she has this whole podcast on this, but she talks about how the universe gets confused. She says the universe is only going to give you more of what you're saying yes to in your life. Okay, so if you're constantly going go, 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 and you never take a pattern to break, the universe is only going to give you that kind of urgency, that kind of energy. But if you flip the pattern and you say go, 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 and then you pause and you meditate and you reflect and you receive, then guess what? The universe is going to give you more of that in return. So when you guys are constantly going and not taking any time for yourself, what we're doing there. And when I heard this, it was like it literally was I don't know. When I heard this part in the podcast, I got tears. So she basically said, when you're going constantly and not taking any time for yourself, you're basically forcing life. You're forcing life. You're forcing things to happen because you're trying to put all these pieces together in your business, in your life. And you're not taking time to actually live in through that moment. So whether it's a short meditation, whether it's a workout, whether it's a hobby, whether it's a spontaneous getaway, whatever it is, the purpose of taking time to take care of you in this business is huge. You will burn out. You will get tired. You will feel mentally drained if you're actively working this business the right way, because we're constantly talking to people. And when I'm talking to someone, I'm giving them my all. So number 6, take time for you. Number 7, another good one. If you're on my team, you've probably talked about this one a lot. Not wavering in a crisis. Not wavering in a crisis. In my opinion, when I look for in a leader, there's 5 traits I look for in a leader. Selflessness, honesty, caring, like genuinely caring. Don't fake care, like really care. Check in on people, like just be a good person. That's really huge for me. Number 4 is someone who like sets the example and is always don't tell me to do something that you're not doing yet. And then the 5th one, and I think to me the most important one, is being able to keep your head straight when shit hits the fan. That's so incredibly important to me. Successful people do not lose their sense of purpose or direction during a crisis. They can't. I physically don't have that luxury. If I don't know how to handle mayhem, which PS, just so you guys know, it happens a lot. You guys see like the put together Veronica. Thomas sees the like, Veronica. There's a whole other side of me. And like a few other people have seen it. But mayhem happens a lot in my life. But you want to know what I've gotten really good at? Creating a reliable sense of calm, because I'm the thermostat for my team. It's me. I set the tone for everything that's going to happen around me. And if when something happens, my mood drastically changes or my energy changes, guess what happens? I lose credibility with my team. If something happens and I start going, my energy, or I stop staying consistent on my story for those 2 to 3 weeks, guess what happens to my potentials? They're going to go to someone else. I'm telling you that from experience. They do. I've seen it happen. This business is built on consistency. And I want you guys to understand, especially if you're new, life is going to happen. Like shit's just going to happen. You're going to have a day where everything is perfect. And then you're going to come home and a shitstorm's going to happen. And all you can do is focus on what you can control. Because at the end of the day, we're building leaders. Leaders come during a time of crisis. That's just honest to God. I think the strongest leaders have been built during COVID, because we were given some of the most hardest times between COVID and all these other movements that have happened, and we've become the light for people. And that only happened because our heads stayed clear. We had a common purpose, and all we tried to do was impact people along the way. So number 7, I think, was not number 8. The next one. Next one's 8. Striving for authenticity. I can talk about this one for hours. Okay, I won't though. Trying to keep this under 30 minutes. So striving for authenticity. It's nearly impossible to achieve any degree of success without being trustworthy and authentic. It's impossible in this business. You might get a little bit of wins in the beginning by trying to be somebody else, but it won't be long-term success. It's impossible. If I can give you guys any advice, especially if in your first few weeks, show up as your authentic self every single day, and you will find your people. You will find your tribe. They will literally start to flock to you when you begin to show up as you. And I'm telling you that from experience. I'm going to get raw. A few months ago, like 3 months ago, there was a period of time in this business where I felt like I had to start dimming my light. I felt like I was being too strong of a leader, or I was being too loud on my story, or I was just being too much of Veronica. And there was a period of time where I came home and I was reading it in my notebook. I asked myself, do I need to change who I am? I literally felt like I had to change who I am to make other people around me feel better. Sorry for swearing, but fuck that. Like, fuck that. I am going to show up as my raw, authentic self all day, every day, in every single sense of the way. And if you don't like it, bye. See you guys. See you around. You don't have to agree with me, but you will never be confused about where I stand on my purpose, where I stand on my beliefs, where I stand on my energy. It is loud fucking clear where I stand. And I'm never going to change it, because that's how I feel as a person. That's who I am. And if it's too much for somebody, bye. So for successful people, being authentic literally just means they are clear in expressing their opinions, and they're consistently truthful and transparent. They're clear in expressing their opinions, and they're consistently truthful and transparent. And on top of that, guys, I don't know if any of you guys listened to this podcast I sent in group yesterday. It was another one by Badass Manifester. She had a girl on there. Beth, what was that episode? Can you send it in here when you have a chance? But she had a girl in there that basically said every single time that you don't show up as your authentic self on your story, you're allowing people to go into your pocket and take money out of your pocket. Because every time that you're not showing up as your authentic self, they just skip it. Nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good. They just stop watching. And over the course of time, that person ends up unfollowing you, or they never look at your things. So you potentially lost out on a client or a business partner that could have forever changed your life because you were so busy trying to be somebody else or be more of what you're not versus falling in love with the woman that you are and bringing her to the world every single day. Because you're you and that's your superpower. No one else can do what you do. Breed value to your story, no matter what it's about. You are you. You don't have to be anybody else to be successful in this business. That's the best part. So that was number 8, I think. Number 9, a desire to give back. The 9th characteristic trait of all successful people, a desire to give back. I'm not going to go into too much depth on this, but one of the most rewarding things about achieving any degrees of success, in my opinion, is the ability to encourage and motivate others. I came from a previous business where it was also built on leadership and it was also built on duplication, but this business is so different. In this business, you literally, you can't, like only good people are going to get to the $1 Million Club. Like you can't be a shitty person and not care for others and get to them. You just can't. Not in this, it doesn't work that way. People wouldn't want to work around you or believe in you or follow you. Your purpose wouldn't be big enough. So I just want you guys to understand, you guys always ask me why I'm so motivated and how you're so empowering. My honest to God purpose is to help people find their true potential. I swear, I get like a high off of it. I get so excited when I see someone grow, even a little bit. Like when I see one of my girls go live and then a week ago they couldn't go live, I'm like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. I'm sending FaceTimes with new people probably like, wow, this girl is wild. I don't care. I'm so excited for you. And all of those small wins, that's what keeps me hyped. Like if I could only focus on myself, I'd go crazy. But because I pour everything I have into my people, I have something to celebrate every single day. And in this business, really honest, like that desire to give back and to give it your all. When you stop putting yourself first in every aspect is when everything changes in your life. So that was number 9, a desire to give back. We got 2 more and then I want to end this. I think actually 1 more. The last one is taking responsibility. Ooh, this is another good one. Taking responsibility. Y'all, entrepreneurship, it's hard. Like, this shit's hard. You have false starts. You know, you get some momentum and you get super excited. It's kind of like what Ed Millett was talking about, the undertow, right? You get hit by that wave and you start, like, if you're anything like me, you lose your swimsuit and you're like dying underneath the wave. You're like, oh my God. That happens in business. You get like some momentum, stuff starts popping off, and then you just get boom from both sides and you're like, whoa, I wasn't ready for that. So understand, you're going to get momentum and then you won't. You're going to F up sometimes. You're going to get like a potential who's on the cusp, and then you're going to say something and it's going to mess it all up and you're going to freak out, and it's okay. It's going to be a learning experience. But understand that when you choose to get behind simply because you're lazy and knock yourself off of your own game, that is when it's your job to take responsibility of your business. Understand that when you start slacking on the income producing activities that you know are going to breed you results, that's when it's time for you to sit down, understand that you're not failing, you're making decisions that aren't meeting where you want to be, you're not matching your actions to your word, and then put in the actions to make a difference. Failing is a part of your journey. Own it, learn from it, and move on, but don't allow yourself to make failing a habit when it's over characteristics or actions that you can control. So those are the 10 characteristics traits. And I want to end this with one of my favorite quotes that I've ever heard. I used to have this on my office wall. I'm going to say this slowly. Okay. The quote goes, maybe it's not so much about becoming anything. Maybe it's about unbecoming everything that is not really you, so you can become what you were meant to be in the first place. I'm gonna say it one more time. Maybe it's not so much about becoming anything. Maybe it's about unbecoming everything that's not really you, so you can become what you were meant to be in the first place. With this new launch, we all have a chance to start over. Every single person right now is on an even playing field. Every single person. Which means all of our businesses can completely, thank you, Lindsay, can completely transform in the next realistically 365 days. I'm not saying that as hype. Like that's how this business works. You catch momentum and then you ride it and the momentum is here. Maybe the focus right now isn't you trying to become a certain person. It's you working on all of the characteristic traits that you need to shed. It's you working on all of the bad habits that you need to shed. It's you working on all of the mental limiting beliefs that you keep feeding yourself that you need to shed. Because if you only focus on one thing, you, and making you the best version of you, everything around you is going to start changing, from your relationships to how you feel, to your income, to your business, to the kind of conversations you're having. And if I had like a genie and it can be to pick one wish, just one wish forever, it would be for every single person on here to take these next 365 days and pour into their business as if this can be what changes their family's lives. Because if you do that, and I'm not saying like quit your job and go gung home, I'm just saying run your business with intention, run your business with integrity, run your business with, what's the word I'm looking for? Not momentum, urgency. Have urgency on a daily basis with your business, because I'm telling you guys, if you just focus on fixing your flaws and only you know what those are, everything else around you is going to change. And I'm so excited for what's about to come. I'm so excited for all of the new leaders that are being built in here. And I can't wait for this time next year for not me to be running a call or not Lindsay to be running a call, but everyone on here, the next wave of leaders to be impacting and developing and changing organizations, because that is what we're doing in the next year. So I appreciate you guys hopping on. I hope you guys have an amazing night and I'll talk to you soon. How do I quit? That's how I quit.